Hello everyone, my name is Richard Lewis Brown, and today, hold on one second, I'll make sure I have my phone turned up. Alright, so hopefully everyone can hear me. Hello everyone, my name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is August 3rd, 2022. Local 1000. Are you listening? As you know, I was elected president back in 2021, May 24th. My first day of office was June 30th, 2021. And every Wednesday, I would do calls. And I called them, Local 1000 listens to you. And normally, it was just a steward's call on Wednesday night. When I became president, through your support, we did something different. If you ever notice, anyone who's followed me over the years, I always do something different, something quote revolutionary that's never been done before for Local 1000. So now you see Local 1000 trying to imitate all the things that I was doing, and that once I'm able to retain my presidency, I will continue to do. And on a quick note, someone asked me, I received several text messages. Why is Local 1000 not doing their Local 1000 straight talk for a few weeks? And so, I said, I don't really know. And then they sent out an email saying that they were going to worksites and they were doing all this other stuff. And so I smiled and I said, yeah, that sounds like something they would say. And so tonight, August 3rd, 2022, we'll start at 6:30. I'll start my Zoom at 6:30. Hold on one second here. And hopefully if you want to come on Zoom, so I'm starting early on Facebook. Anyone on Facebook that wants to, send a text to me or come on, we have plenty of time before 6:30. Tonight's title, The Biggest Little Lie. The biggest little lie. And so you say, what do you mean? Local 1000 has been lying to you since 1984. They tell you that they're truly invested in you. They want everyone to be a dues-paying member, but that is not the truth. They're more concerned, their only concern is political, quote, social justice. Politics and social justice. That's the only thing they're concerned with. And so I put up a post on Facebook, and it gave some examples of when the three VPs have tried to suspend me. I call it a retaliatory suspension because they were suspended first. Their duties were suspended first. So once they did the retaliatory suspension of me, which I don't acknowledge this, but the court system is trying to uphold it currently. Anyway, they quickly signed the 50 and 25. $50, $25 for the telework. So as you know, I was fighting for you. And we did the survey in December, and people said, hey, don't take the 50 and 25, $100 at a minimum, and that if they ever deny anyone telework, they have to provide a financial justification. Let's go back to that 50 and 25 for a second, though. $50 for those who are remote, $25 who have an office space. That is, quote, hot garbage. Why did Local 1000 do that? Because that's playing politics. Because they tell you, remember, I'm the only person who ran for office over all these years that has told you repeatedly, the state of California is not your boss. We are a partnership in this, a 50-50 partnership. But you have leaders, including the three vice presidents and DLC 744 President Billy Hall, who believe that the state is your boss. And so they signed the 50 and 25, DLC 744 President Billy Hall and the VP of Bargaining, Irene Green. I believe they signed it on April 27th of this year. That was wrong. That was wrong. And so when I have told you over the years that they don't care about you, they continue to show you that everything I have said about them is the absolute truth. And so that's why I call it the biggest little lie. They say that they're fighting for you. Their quote, as their favorite term is, we're fighting for our members. We're fighting for our members. No, you're not. You never have. If I could predict the future, I would tell you they never will. And this is why I got elected, to be the third president in Local 1000 history. And so I was fighting for people. Remember, we got the great COVID agreement. Everybody didn't get vaccinated. We were fighting for those jobs in Lansing County and CCC. Those jobs, those people are still there working. Now they're talking about closing other prisons. If you remember, there's a rumor going around there's going to be more prisons that are supposed to close. For what reason? Because of politics, of social justice. And they say, well, don't worry about the people's jobs, they'll be relocated. That's garbage, because there's no guarantee that they'll find jobs, they'll be relocated to stay in that area. So to all of those who have families who work in the prisons, if your prison closed, you may have to relocate your family. And that's wrong, because the prisons don't have to close. Now, we have nearly $100 billion in surplus. So when I was campaigning, 2018 and in 2021, and I said a 21% pay increase across the board, everyone laughed at me. But now I put up on Facebook, costs you $13,000 more to buy a new car. Gas prices, I won't even talk about it. Home prices, I won't even talk about it. Inflation, 8.6%. 8.6% in the month of May, the highest in 40 years. And so, yes, should we be grateful that 2.5% we received on July 1st? Yes, we should always be grateful if we get a salary increase. But it doesn't amount to anything. It gives you false hope. So I see someone saying, bring them on camera. So if that person is serious, anyone who wants me to bring them on camera, send me a text, and I'll try to keep up with the text here, and I'll bring you on camera. Now, that 2.5% on July 1st, that was negotiated in the last contract. I am not grateful to get a tank of gas in mine. I hear you. I hear you. So, anyone who really wants to come on camera with me, because I see some people that says bring them on camera, but I don't think certain people want to come on camera. So put it in the text if you want to come on camera or not. So here's what we can't be grateful for. People always get mad at me when I say this. We still have the greatest country on earth. Do we have some character flaws? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In our foundation. But we still have the greatest country. Are there some other countries that rival us? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, that 2.5% wasn't nearly enough. But that's the operating procedure that the state of California has done for years. Give them the crumbs. Oh, one quick thing about the 2.5%. Someone is saying, when is this other post-employment benefits deduction ending? You know what? I'm glad she asked that question. I'm glad we started early. So, to that person who's asking that, the OPEB. The OPEB is scheduled to end June 30th, 2023. Listen to how I say this. I'm so glad she asked that. I'm going to say her name so bad. Scheduled to end June 30th, 2023. And that's that 3.5% that we should have never paid for to begin with. We bargained away our retiree health care. In this next contract, do you think that if I'm not your chief negotiator, because you know they're trying to run me out of office, they don't respect the will of the voters, do you think that that OPEB deduction will end? Book this on August 3rd, 2022. Your OPEB deduction of 3.5%, it will not end in your next contract unless I'm your chief negotiator. I'm going to say it for you again. Your OPEB deduction for the next contract will be there at 3.5%, and it will probably go up to 5%. That's right. They give us a raise and they stick with the OPEB. The OPEB that was negotiated in the last contract should have never been there. Actually, if I remember correctly, they negotiated the OPEB 2 contracts back. And then it started in this current contract. We should have never agreed to that. Because we didn't stand our ground. We didn't hold our integrity. Now remember, all this money you're putting into this OPEB, if you don't retire from the state of California, you don't get that money back. And your retiree health care was already guaranteed by government code. I talked about that in my 2018 contract, my 2018 campaign. We gave up our retiree health care, like all the other unions did, because of the political social justice. It's not right. Now, through the grace of God, we will get through this, and I will retain my presidency. That OPEB deduction won't be there in our next contract. Which brings up, before someone asks me the question, I'm trying to watch on Facebook here. Hold on 1 second. Strike. I see you. I see you. So, we shouldn't have the OPEB deduction. That is correct. What about the strike? Once your contract ends on June 30th, 2023, and you bargain in good faith and you reach a legal impasse, you can take a strike vote and go on strike. Remember, we did that in, what year was that? It was in October through the early part of November of 2016. And we were scheduled to go on strike, I believe, I want to say, let's get my years mixed up. We were scheduled to go on strike December 5th of 2016, yeah. And then they called it off. I want everyone to understand this. People have said, Richard, is it really a racial situation that they're trying to run you out of office? It's a racial and a political situation. And so let me explain to you the political situation. We have a current governor, Governor Newsom, who most likely, 9 times out of 10, will get reelected to governor. And then he'll run for the White House or U.S. Senate. The last thing he can afford is to have a labor stoppage. Now, everyone knows, whether you like me or not, if I say something, I'm going to do it. And you know that I held our ground on that code there. I refuse to let those jobs go away at CCC and Lansing County. I refuse to accept a 50 and 25 per Telework Agreement. I held my ground. I'm a man of conviction. I'm a man of principle. You can't buy me out. So this governor knows that it would be to his interest if Local 1000 removed me. It would be to his interest. It would be to quite a few people's interests. If you have someone who's willing to stand up to the status quo, take on the most powerful governor in the most powerful state, in my personal opinion, the most powerful state in the nation, California, you have a problem. You have to silence that person. You have to discredit that person. Now, this is where race comes into play. Yes, I'm black. I was born this way. Can't get out of it. So, when black men across America have an image of being unprofessional, undignified, or when we speak with passion and conviction, and we're outside of the sports arena, and we're outside of the pulpit, then they deem us as being radical, controversial, angry, Black Panther. And then they have to get rid of us. Either they assassinate us, discredit us, talk about our intellect, our emotional faculties. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, our emotional faculties. And they try to run me out of office. Now you see me moving. Someone has a good ear. So I turn my volume up on the phone, and they hear the fan in the background so I don't start sweating because I turned my air conditioner off so you don't hear the air conditioner blowing. All right, so give me a second. Give me a second here. All right, that's what you call live, unscripted, unrehearsed. People are listening. It amazes me. All right, so you're going to see me dabbing my forehead here. All right, so here we go again. I was talking about the fact that someone brought up the fact about the OPEB, other post-employment benefits, 3.5%. When does it end? Scheduled to end on June 30th, 2023. It probably won't end then. If I'm not your chief negotiator of the next contract, they're going to keep it in the contract and most likely book this on August 3rd, 2022. They're going to raise it to probably 5%. It won't stay at 3.5. Then I talk about the strike. Once our contract ends, we bargain in good faith, we reach a legal impasse, take the strike vote, we can go on strike. And we had did it a few years ago. And so then I said, why are they trying to remove me from office? Is it just racial, or is it political, or is it a mixture of both? It's a mixture of both. And I was simply saying that this particular governor will win re-election for governorship in the most powerful state in the nation, or he'll get U.S. Senate. So he can't take a chance on having a labor stoppage that would go across the nation. And let me tell you this. Remember when Schwarzenegger was in office and he did the furloughs, and those furloughs affected cities and counties, not just state. Because city and county governments started doing furloughs. And that spread all across the nation. So if you have the largest public sector union for state employees, Local 1000, with me as your president, who was duly elected May 24th, 2021, took office on June 30th, 2021, fighting this particular governor and saying we're not going to be treated as children and we're not going to sign condescending contracts that we've signed in the past, that's going to destroy his image. And then it will show that he doesn't have the support of his home state, at least not the state employees. And this is where it's political. But because I'm black, now they can demonize me and say that I'm out of control, I'm angry, I'm controversial. And so when I'm trying to defend myself and all of your attackers are coming, and they say, well, if you can't act like Barack Obama, we have to get rid of him. See, that's the rest of the story. So when people say, well, Richard, it's not just a racial situation, you're wrong. But I realize that people here in California don't want to be told on racial things that they're wrong. But you do have a racial issue here in California. And it ain't just Rodney King. It isn't just the man at the light rail station in the Bay a few years ago, Mr. Grant. You have had racial hostilities here in the state of California. But I still tell you this, that this is still the greatest country, in my opinion, but there are other countries just as good as us, maybe better than us. But we have some character flaws in our foundation. So I have stayed true to my upbringing, to be a proud black man, and to never back down. But I've also stayed true to you, to those who voted for me, that I was going to fight and honor my 10-point platform, which may get me run out of office. But I have stayed true to these things. So when you hear Local 1000 going on these worksite visits, a lot of people should find out, where are they going with these worksite visits? And then you should invite me. So that when Local 1000 shows up, the leaders, you should invite me to show up at the same time. And now you can have a real reality TV moment. Bring your cameras out. And I'm going to show you that the truth is not in these people who call themselves your leaders. The truth is not in them. They don't care about you. If they cared about the membership, they would honor the vote of membership. And they're not going to honor that. It's unfortunate. And so I put up on Facebook talking about the price of different things going up. The price of buying a new car has been up $13,000. I put the link up. I put the link up about the Fed raising the federal funds rate. 4th time in 5 months. And they say the inflation at 8.6% that was reported in May is the highest in 40 years. I put something else up. Oh God, I can't remember the number. Oh boy. So all these rates that are going up, so that 2.5% on July 1st doesn't even matter. Oh, I also put up about the CalPERS. There's my number. The CalPERS, I believe that average premium rate for all the different premiums has gone up to around 6.75%. 6.75% for the CalPERS. I put that link up. So people say, well, Richard, you tell us all these things. What can we do? I've asked you, I said, contact me so you can help me retain my presidency. I've done that. And some people have contacted me. I've asked people, let me be authorized to email you. Some people have done that. I've asked you to not lose hope. I've asked people to not quit the union. Some people have quit the union anyway. They say, well, once you come back, Richard, we'll come back. Well, we can't always run when things get tough. This is where we find out who's with you and who's not. Is your word worth your weight in gold? Is it? Now remember, I'm doing all this live. So when they used to tell you when I was doing those videos at Local 1000, they said, oh, he has all the paperwork in front of him and everyone's telling him what to say. That was a lie. And so tonight, the title of this is called The Biggest Little Lie. That they say that they're caring for you and they want to build membership, but that's a lie. Their only concern is about political and social justice that's aimed at one particular party. Of the two major parties, it's only aimed at one. So half our union who are non-Democrats are being totally silenced. Other post-employment benefits. That's what OPEB stands for. Other post-employment benefits. Quote, your retiree health care. It shows up on your paycheck as a, CERBT. I think that's how it shows up. Okay, so hopefully everyone can hear me loud and clear. I started early. The Zoom will start here at 6:30. But I like to start early on Facebook, so people on Facebook who don't do Zoom, if you want to come on video, I'll bring you on video. Just send me a text saying, hey, because a lot of people come on here and it says bring them on video, but they don't want to come on video. So, okay, thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's good. And so, what's it for? The OPEB, your retiree health care. Yes, I'm doing everything I can to speak the absolute truth. And so under deductions, it says CERBT or CRBT. That's what it says under deductions. And it's not taxable. I think that's a tax-exempt deduction, along with your retirement and possibly your Delta Dental. Okay, so we've been talking for, I think I started at 5:52. So for 15 and 8, so I've been talking for 23 minutes. Can you hear me loud and clear? Hopefully everyone can hear me loud and clear. All right, so hold on one moment here. I was doing something. Okay, hopefully everyone can still see me. So if you can still see me on Facebook, someone texting the thing, you can still see me. You can still hear me. Oh boy. If you can still see me on Facebook, yes, we can hear you perfectly. Okay, and you can see me as well. Can you still see me as well? Can everyone still see me on Facebook? Okay, can everyone still see me on Facebook? Yes, okay. So everyone can still see me. Okay. All right, so we'll keep going here. I see you. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Now, again, tonight, the biggest little lie. So you see the email that went out today. They were saying that they were traveling around, and then I saw someone sent me a thing saying that the 3 vice presidents and DLC 744 President Billy Hall was in a picture together on the, I think they said SEIU 1000 on Twitter. Now, everyone knows they kicked me off of Twitter because I don't have anything to hide. So when I tweet at Local 1000, I tweet at the governor, I tweet at SACB, because I stand by what I say. I don't have to hide or anything. Let me say this about pictures. They say pictures are 1,000 words. Pictures are also very deceiving. Pictures are also very deceiving. If you noticed, people will go on Facebook, they'll go on Instagram, and you'll think that they're living their very best life. Okay? You will see them and you will think that they have the greatest life on earth. Let me say this to you. The picture of 3 VPs along with DLC 744 President Billy Hall, as if they're working together, that's deception. and it's going to come out. That's deception. Here, I'll give you another example. How many Americans are living in debt? 80, 90% of Americans in debt? You couldn't tell on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. You think that they have the greatest life and the greatest families and nothing's ever wrong. People are living paycheck to paycheck in our union and in this country. And so when people take pictures, don't always believe what you see in a picture. It's like, don't believe, so don't believe everything you see. So someone's saying, you look like you're sweating. Yes, because someone on Facebook heard the fan in the background. So I turned my air conditioner off. So that's not being heard. And I had my fan on. Someone heard that in the background. So yeah, I'm a little sweaty. All right. So, but these pictures that Local 1000 puts out and these emails that they put out every day or every 2 or 3 days as if everything is well in hand. Local 1000 is doing just great. That's a lie. You cannot be doing just great as an organization when you're trying to remove your president. That is an absolute lie. Now, I told everyone this. These internal disciplinary actions they're trying to take against me, I said, if you don't hear about it, if you're not able to view what they're trying to do to me, it's because Annika Walls did not want the hearing to be open, even though it violates the policy file. This is what has happened. And this is why everything's being hush-hush. Because I want everyone to see these hearings so you can see what they're doing and why they're not telling the truth. But the truth has a way of coming out. The truth has a way of coming out. All right. Now, back to the title tonight, The Biggest Little Lie. Our union is concerned only with political and social justice. And I said it goes back to 1984 when we first affiliated with SEIU, Service Employees International Union, headquartered in Washington, D.C. All this stuff that I'm telling you, I gave you on PowerPoints. And I told everyone in those PowerPoints, download those PowerPoints. If anyone wants a PowerPoint on a particular issue, I'll send it to you. I have copies. But I was educating you because I wanted to let you know that I truly care for you. And I'm not just giving you lip service. It's unfortunate how certain people in this union cannot respect the will of the voters. Now they tell you that only got 33 or roughly 34% of the vote. Whose fault is that? It wasn't like I wasn't trying to turn out to vote. It wasn't my fault that the former president and one of her allies broke apart. It wasn't my fault that NTC, Sophia Perkins and Tony Owens, they broke apart. So the whole time they were always accusing me of splitting the vote, they ended up splitting their own votes. And that's how God worked. And that's why God put me by myself when I campaigned so that I could stay focused. Now, some people who voted for me still support me. Some of them don't. But that's life. Some people who didn't vote for me are supporting me now. You will see people's true colors as the days grow long. I hate that these things are going on, but they have to take place for the great reckoning of Local 1000. Many people thought, oh, the former president has been defeated. Now we can go forward. No, that was just the first punch. Now they're trying to punch for life because they're scared. And they'll say anything and everything. Remember I said this is political and it's racial? Let me tell you how the politics of the fact that this governor is going to run for the White House or U.S. Senate, and he can't have anything to hurt his reputation. And so you have a president like myself who won on May 24th, 2021, challenging his, quote, reputation of being union friendly. Here's what they did in response. They did a calculated, well-organized attack on me. How many people did you know run for Local 1000 president and they did a personal attack. They went back in their personal life and tried to attack them. That tells you how afraid they are of me. They've attacked me from every direction, from my ex-wife. You know, they have tried to destroy any type of momentum that I was creating. Now, this is where it gets tough. Because it's unfortunate that, you know, people of color, black men in this country, we don't have a good reputation. A lot of that is racist. Because you have to remember how my ancestors got here. So when people say, well, don't make it just about race, Richard, we're California people. I've said this earlier when the fan was on. California has a history of racism too. Now, is it like Missouri? Heck no. No. Absolutely not. I'll take my chance in California. But California does have problems. And not just with black men or black women, but with minorities. Because the whole country had a problem with minorities from the very beginning, including, quote, they didn't allow, quote, white women to vote. All right, so that's where the political and the racial kind of run into each other. But let's get down to the money. Because people say, talk about that money, Richard. Okay. I told you in 2018, and I tell you in 2021, and I tell you now, you need a 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally, with GO pay and COLA. And don't tell me the money's not there, because we have nearly $100 billion that they acknowledge on paper. $100 billion. So the money's there. Now, I guess they were listening to me because they quickly came out saying, well, you know, the state has these great liabilities, and the pensions is one great liability. And I think the healthcare, retiree healthcare was like $99 billion. And they said, well, you know, we have to really rein that in. How do you know that all these people who are going to retire are going to live a certain wage?
Join the meeting.
You know, we don't know that. So, you know, they do all these scare tactics. And I've asked people, I said, don't be afraid. Don't let people intimidate you. And this is why, when I was saying about the political and the racial, and then it comes down to the money. I'm fighting for your money. And I'm not going to let these people tell us no. When these so-called Local 1000 leaders are traveling around to these work sites, where did that idea come from? It came from me. It came from me. Except they don't do videos. You don't know what they're telling these people at the work sites. They're probably telling them that I came from Russia and I'm trying to destroy them. Well, they've already said that with the Freedom Foundation and whatever. But they don't do stuff on video. When I go to work sites, I tell you, hey, I may not tell you the work site to protect people's identity and the work site, but you see me talking to people and you hear every word that I'm telling these people on video. On video. You see that. You don't know what these people, these so-called Local 1000 leaders, when they go to these work sites, you don't know what they're telling people. But they're not telling them a whole lot. I've asked people over and over and over again, what is Local 1000 not willing to accept? What's a no-no for this next contract? They'll never tell you what's a no-no. Did they tell you that a 21% pay increase is a absolute and we will get that money one way or another? And we won't have any offsetting deductions. Have they told you this? Have they told you this? Has Local 1000, when they travel to these work sites, are they on video? Telling you what, so they can be held accountable for their words? Because when I do videos, people come at me 1,000 miles an hour. I don't meet them. You see me arguing with people, having great conversations. You see reality TV with me. Reality TV that's not staged. They can't handle that. And so when people say, well, Richard, you know, we have to do things differently. Why do I have to do things differently? That's how I got elected. I got elected talking and running my mouth. And they say, well, you're going to run yourself out of the job. When God says that I'm getting run out, then okay. This is when you find out about people's integrity. And this is why a lot of people look at me and they say, how do you do what you do? Because they're attacking you from every direction. I have a gift. And I have multiple gifts. But when it comes to money, I don't care what Local 1000 tells you. I see you. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. These people are not going to uphold the fact that you need a 21% pay increase. Not 12, not 14, not 15. You need a 21% pay increase across the board, equally for everyone, along with GO pay and COLA. You have sacrificed too many years of your life working for the state of California. Yes, you volunteered for this. Yes, you did. And there's nothing wrong with volunteering in America. But we're taxpayers just like Governor Newsom and the state legislature. We're taxpayers and we're voters. Okay? They're living their best life off of you and me and everyone else in this state. Remember when I kept saying, give me 1 second. Okay. Remember when I kept saying, they're telling us that we have to give 2 days of pay for 2 straight fiscal years. Did those state legislators outside of 3 or 4 give up their money? No. They're not stupid. And Governor Newsom didn't give up his money until the newspaper caught him. He said, well, it must have been a mistake somewhere. It was an oversight. Those state legislators did not give up their money. Then why did we give up our money? And so these so-called Local 1000 leaders who said it was the right thing at the time to give up our money, what are they talking about? They're not talking about anything. It's hot garbage. And that's why some of these Local 1000 leaders don't like me. Because I'm as real as it gets. Richard, you real. Yes, they've lied. And yes, they said they've tried going to work sites. If anyone says, oh, they're coming to my work site on such and such day, Richard, can you come down and I'll vouch for you? You can come in, you can talk to them, and we'll put you on camera. I'm going to say it for you again. Now, it's almost 6:30. And so as I say at 6:30, hi, everyone. It's August 3rd, 2022. I started about 5:52 this evening. And I started live on Facebook. Now I'm letting people in on Zoom. When they tell you, they put up that worksite list on Local 1000 website, saying we're coming to these work sites, whatever. When they tell you they're coming to your work site, you should contact me, 408-207-2339, and say, I'm going to be at that building, Richard, and I'm vouching for you. I'm going to send you the email saying that I invited you to this work site so I can see you talk to them live in front of everyone, and we want the cameras up. And now you will find out who's going to fight for you and who's going to fold for you. The truth will come out. Now you'll see it. But they don't want to talk to me live. They don't. And so when they talk about, you came to work for the state, you volunteered to work for the state of California as a public servant. So did the President of America. And so did the governor and our state legislature. And our federal legislators. We all, quote, as public servants have volunteered. Now, some of us volunteered through the military first. Boom. And put our lives on the line. But we all have volunteered as public servants. They are no better than you are. Thank you for that respect. I see you. Thank you. If you really want to make sure I'm put back in my position, then contact me at 408-207-2339. My website is on the post, I believe, tonight. If not, you can always contact me on Facebook. People do it on Facebook Messenger. People do it on Instagram. There's a certain person that sends me Instagram messages because she's going through hell in the workplace. Her dignity is being violated, and I can't help her the way I want to because I don't have my powers right now. I'm not going to say her name. But she knows who she is. Look, they say, well, Richard, could you have done anything differently so that they would have respected you more? No. I could have muted people and cut people off and they were trying to disrupt my Wednesday night class. I could have did that. But I don't like to cut people off. I like to engage. Because the more that you engage with somebody, the more the truth will come out on that person. You'll catch them in a lie. They can't catch me in no lies because I don't tell lies. I don't tell them. Local 1000 is trying to convince you that they're for you. They're not. And they never have been. And that's why you see so many people over the years have said, our union doesn't do anything. Why should I pay money to a union that won't even represent me when I have a case every 15 or 20 years? I put that in the post tonight. The union, by the Ralph C. Dills Act, will give you just the minimal, non-enthusiastic support in your grievance process. And they'll probably make you do all the work. So when these people are coming to your work site talking about, we're going to increase membership, where did they get that from? They got that from me. Remember, when I took office, I said, we're going to increase membership to over 90%. That was my goal by sometime in 2023. And he said, there's no way you can do that. Oh, yes, we can. Oh, yes, we can. Focus on the money. Don't focus on the politics. Focus on the money. 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally. Those special salary adjustments causes dissension. Let me show you another example. And anyone who's on Zoom, want to raise your hand, or anybody on Facebook want to raise your hand. When we did that petition drive, Yolanda Williams, we did a petition drive, 17,000 petitions. Took it over there, I think in February. And I was trying to meet with the governor. We asked for that money out of the state surplus, not out of the federal surplus. Now, Local 1000 admits that, some people are getting the essential worker premium pay, but most people are not. Why? Because they just rolled over. They don't care. All right, I see a hand raised. DLC 770, Derek. Go ahead, Derek.
Good evening, Mr. President. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
That's good. That's real good. I'm having a little bit of an issue. You're talking about people getting rolled over.
Okay.
I had a tough time yesterday. I called the 1-800 number of the MRC.
Okay.
And I was trying to get a hold of a staff member by the name of Alex Vandis, and they couldn't. For some reason, they gave me this runaround. Let me connect you to his voicemail. So then I asked about another staff member by the name of Donna Snodgrass, and they were also telling me that they were having some issues in their database. Do you know what's going on? Are they? Do you know if these people are still on staff with the union, or what's going on at this time?
So, look, the union won't even respond to my emails when I ask about board meetings and stuff like that, and about being indemnified. So, as far as you said, Alex Hernandez, I hired Alex. As far as I know, he's still there. He's the senior training development person. So he's part of UAW 2350. And Donna Snodgrass was my chief of staff. As far as I know, they said that she has stayed on. So as far as I know, they're both there working. So you should be able to reach them and, try again tomorrow. I'm sure they're working every day. Okay. So thank you for your question. So I took the first question off of Zoom. Hold on one second here. Because I'm hearing a bunch of background. Somebody must have their phone or something on. I'm getting background noise. So if everyone can mute themselves on Zoom. Okay. All right. So one has their phone. Everyone has to mute themselves. Here, I'll try to mute everybody because I'm getting background noise. Where is it at here? Okay. All right. I see people saying hi to me on Facebook. I see everyone. Now, if anyone has any more questions, I started early at 5:52. I started the Zoom at 6:30. I tried to respond to people sending me texts asking me why the union wasn't doing their, quote, straight talk on Wednesday nights for a while. And I guess they sent the email out saying they were going to work sites. And so can everyone on Zoom please mute themselves again? All right. So I've asked people, I said, if you want to hear the truth, when you see these people coming to your work site, you should contact me, 408-207-2339, and I'll come to that work site. And you can bring your phones. And you can see me talk to them live in front of everyone. And then the truth will come out. Oh, okay, I see a hand raised. All right, so Darren Stahl, yes, go ahead.
Good evening, President Brown. Good evening, the rest of my fellow members of Local 1000. Wanted to just kind of reiterate a few things and maybe cover a little bit of ground as far as for what we're looking at here. You know, it's kind of funny that the sense of urgency from the interloper and chair that we currently have is picking up steam. And, you know, I kind of wonder what's going on, you know, as far as what's going through their situation there. What do we have to do as members to, should we be calling the MRC in regards to the HR1 item and it being made a public item and not a behind the curtain item? Number one.
Yes. Yes, wait, let me stop you right there. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so someone said, Darren said, should people be calling the MRC, Member Resource Center, at 866-471-7348, and demanding that the HR1 that's been leveled against me by our VP, Annika Walsh, that it be made public. Absolutely. And they should get the name of the person they talk to, and they should email me saying, hey, I called the MRC to help you, Richard, and this is the person I talked to, this is the time and the date, and email me that. Richard.brown7437 at yahoo.com. Go ahead, Darren.
Gotcha. You know, one of the big things that I think you can take a lot of credit for is making a huge and valid and valiant attempt to recognize that we have a union of several political views. I myself, I'm an independent, not a conservative, not a Democrat. I know we have some socialists within our group as well, which is fine. But I will tell you this: I've at my own work site, you know, I've had discussions with a lot of folks about rejoining the union, and at my work site, it's been, you know, a lot of people that have had pushback about either joining the union or rejoining the union. Has been actually kind of split across the board. There's a lot of my coworkers that are very progressive, that because of the past history of the union leadership,
Right.
and even right now with what's going on, they would push back about joining.
One quick thing with that. When you talk about having people call the MRC to demand that my HR1 hearings be open, as you know, DLC 744 President Billy Hall has filed a lawsuit against me, Local 1000, and SEIU International. The next court date is August 19th and September 2nd. And so if you want more information on that August 19th date, I think it's at 2:30 in the afternoon, contact me at 408-207-2339, or you can go to the Sacramento Superior Court website, Department 27, stick my name in, and you'll see all the history, and you'll see the court date. I'm sorry. So you were talking about the political parties, Darren. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, and to be honest with you, I mean, it's there. You would figure that if we are a progressive union, so to speak, that we wouldn't have so many progressive-leaning people choosing not to join the union. And I'll be honest with you, I've had more discussions with folks that are more conservative that actually, even though they are conservative, they believe in a union. So it's kind of it's a 50-50 mix that I've been seeing with the discussions that I've been having. And I'll be honest with you, I would encourage, you know, a lot of other folks to have those discussions and just kind of get a barometer, because oftentimes our union is relying on a certain any blue will do attitude, but it's not who you're endorsing right now. That that attitude actually has actually swung the other direction. It's not any blue will do. It's becoming, what are you doing for me lately?
So
what have you done for me lately?
One quick thing on that. Darren Stahl makes a great point. A lot of people believe that all of our non-members are non-Democrats, and that's not true. He makes a tremendous point on that. Oh, someone just asked me, can people attend the court hearing in person? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you're absolutely right, Darren. Just because someone belongs to the Democratic Party does not mean that they're going to really support this union. That's a fallacy. And so when you said, what are you doing for me lately? What have you done for me lately? Or what are you doing for me right now? That's a great point.
Yeah, and it's the writing's on the wall. I mean, from the discussions I'm having in the hallways, discussions I'm having outside the building with my coworkers, that seems to be a very common sentiment. It's not that people are reticent to join the union because they don't see the value of the union.
Right.
They're reticent because they've been watching and seeing the actions of the union and kind of the inactivity and the ineptness that has befallen our process. And, and then basically as well, we talk about a lot of folks in leadership that, have a certain political swing and, they believe that democracy is a thing. And here they go completely ignoring the vote of the membership. Then, that's a tremendous contradiction of ideals. And when you're contradicting your ideals as a union, that also adds to the fire and the fuel of clowns like the Freedom Foundation and some of these other folks, where they have a leg to stand on. And they can basically say, hey, you got a union that's not even living by their own beliefs and ideals. And that's something that we have to do our best to try and steer that ship and make it right. A couple of things I just want to get people's thought processes going. Until you came around, we had, and this has to do directly with what's going on within the.
Hold on, Darren. Hold on 1 second, Darren. Someone just asked me on Facebook, are you allowed to answer if Bill Hall is paying his own legal fees? Billy Hall, DLC 744 President Billy Hall, got the board to vote to pay for his legal fees while he's trying to sue me and the union and SEIU International. So go ahead, Darren.
Gotcha. For me, my personal belief, I feel that what's going against you is being pushed directly down by SEIU State, and I feel that there's a correlation. There's a reason why a lot of these folks from SEIU State and National are all of a sudden coming in and making the little bus stops and trying to shore up the base and do all that stuff because they know they're on the bad side and they've got to figure something out to kind of show what's not going on.
So
it's the deal of right now we have folks on our board, and this is where I want to just bring this back up to top of mind for everybody. We have people on our board. We have a chair of our board. We have attorneys in SEIU that were in direct opposition of you and your efforts of providing a contract to another union. We had our office staff there at the MRC that has not had a contract in almost 8, 10 years, 12 years. And we had the direct circumvention of Bill Hall, several members of actually probably more than several that are actually on the board of our union. And again, it goes back to the thing is, are we a labor union or are we a social club? Because if you're a labor union, why would you deny a union contract to those that are icing on top of it. You know, when we are supposedly supporting any blue will do type of candidates, right now there's a huge fight at the California legislature, actually at the state capitol as a whole, with unionization of office staff at the Capitol.
So let me stop you right there. That's a great point. I want to go back to the hypocrisy of Local 1000 not respecting the will of the voters, and they voted for me to be president. We have people in this union who are not Democrats. And every person who belongs to the Democratic Party or the Republican Party feels that their party is the best and the other party is the evil one. We have to stop that. We have to stop demonizing people from other political parties. That's the first thing. Second thing, we should have a third, fourth, and fifth party in this country. We call them the Independent Party, the Green Party, the Constitutional Party, blah, blah, blah. But we don't have enough people voting for those people of those parties. Recently, Andrew Yang in New York and some other people created a new party called Forward 2 or whatever to give a viable third option. We'll see if that works or not. Someone on Facebook said, should we call the MRC about Billy Hall's legal fees being paid? Absolutely. And you should get the name of the person you spoke to. And you should tell all your co-workers that Local 1000 is paying for someone on the board of directors to sue the current president along with the union, along with SEIU International. And you can always send me an email at richard.brown7437@yahoo.com, or you can call me at 408-207-2339 if you want to help me even more. All right, so go ahead, Darren.
And, you know, and just to kind of close out, you know, we have at the state capitol a brewing fight with unionization of office staff at the state capitol. And it actually amazes me right now that our union is targeting the likes of Amazon and some of these other major corporations, which I get the efforts there.
Right.
But at the same time, if you supposedly have some political sway with the people that you're contributing millions of dollars to, why are you not leaning on them to unionize their office staff and making it a public issue? But yet they hide behind it. They don't want to expose the very people that they're supporting for being hypocrites.
So one quick thing.
It's sad.
So one quick thing on that. Whatever information you have on that, you should be posting that on my Facebook page, RL Brown Facebook page. I'd like to know more about that. Second thing, the reason why Local 1000 won't be involved in that is because they look at Governor Newsom as being our boss. Third thing, you talked about these Amazon and all that. That's not Local 1000's issue. That is a political agenda by SEIU International in DC. That's their agenda, to try to unionize as many people as possible so they can get money from you. Remember, we paid them $688,000 a month. But yet, when you needed them for the furlough fight, the furlough fiasco, couldn't find them. When you needed them for the POP 2010, 2012, the recent POP 2020 through 21, couldn't find International. Couldn't find her. She was nowhere around to be found. Now they come back around trying to build membership because they want your money. And they want your cope, your extra money, to support their political agenda, which alienates, even though it's voluntary, when you use Local 1000's name for a political agenda, you alienate those within Local 1000 who are non-Democrats, who don't believe in that same agenda that the Democratic Party believes in.
So,
yeah.
and just to close out, no, I'll send you some of that information in regards to the unionization efforts at the Capitol.
And thank you for being so out, Darren. Thank you for being so outspoken, and hopefully we'll be talking here soon in the future. And you are absolutely right about calling the MRC and making HR 1 public. And I told people this. I said, if this HR 1 hearing against me by Annika Walls is not public, it's because she doesn't want it public. All right. Thank you for calling in, Darren.
Thank you, President Brown.
Thank you. All right. So the next caller, DLC 769 EB Lynch. Go ahead, EB.
Thank you, President Brown, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I want to thank Darren for bringing up some very important points. I agree with quite a bit of what he said, and the insight that he sheds light to regarding our union and some of the hypocrisy that we're dealing with. I also wanted to kind of reiterate some of the issues that he spoke about, and you spoke about, but in particular, labor union and labor issues. I agree. As a labor union, we should be dealing with labor issues. Unfortunately, there are a lot of social justice issues that have been the priority for Local 1000, in my opinion, a little too long. And it's not that these social justice issues don't matter. I'm not saying that. It's just that when we signed on to pay dues, we signed on to pay dues to a labor union, not a social justice union. So most people, I'm of the belief that when most people signed up, if they spoke to somebody when they signed up, they were told that your money is going to go towards making sure that your jobs are protected because your jobs are constantly getting attacked. We're constantly under attack from, big corporations regarding your jobs and your pensions, jobs and pensions. So people, rightfully so, said, okay, yes, I want my job protected. I want to make sure I have protections when I need it. I don't want to go, again, the big corporations or the bosses or whomever by myself. So I want to make sure that if I need representation, I have it. However, more and more I've seen that when it comes down to it and people truly need representation, there's no one really there to assist them. However, we do have a lot on our own Local 1000 website talking about social justice issues. Some of the Facebook sites for SEIU Local 1000 talk about mainly social justice issues. We have the Lavender Committee, we have the Veterans Committee, which I am a part of. I love the Veterans Committee. I am a veteran. I am 100% for it. What I'm trying to say is that people signed up for labor representation. And I think we've lost sight of that. I would say, in my opinion, there's 80% social justice and maybe 20% labor, when it should be flip-flop. And I don't even know if it should be 20%. It really should be 100% labor union stuff. And if it's not directly impacting your job, then we shouldn't be putting so much money and emphasis in it. Somebody posted that Local 1000 has continuously donated for the past few years to an organization that supported LGBTQ issues. I think that's awesome that someone is supporting issues that are as needed as LGBTQ issues, because I don't believe that anyone, for any reason, should be made to feel ashamed for their beliefs. It's their beliefs. Isn't that why what America was founded on? The right to have your own mind, your own thoughts, and not have government or anyone else control you and your thoughts, your beliefs. However, we are a labor union. So should money be going towards anything that's not labor related? I also saw things posted about women's rights. I am a female. And yet, I still believe that if it's not labor related, our money should not be in it. because what it does is it weakens the true reason why people join unions, which is to make sure that they have the ability to save their jobs and really truly have dignity within the workplace when needed. So I applaud you, President Brown, for doing the things that you're doing and staying steadfast. You know, when I read that email from Billy Hall saying that he was not going to be having his little talk off on Wednesday nights because he was going to work sites, I kind of chuckled because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you go to work sites and do the Wednesday night and run the union? I don't know. I don't know. That to me, it seems like that's part of the job. So why sign up? Why kick you out, saying you can't do it, and yet he's in your seat and he's not even doing half of what you're doing, and it's too much. Anyways, thank you for your time.
Okay, DLC 769, Evie Lynch, thank you. She makes some great points. She says, yes, you know, social justice is important, but for Local 1000, you know, it appears it's 80% social justice, 20% labor, and she made the point, maybe it should just be 100% labor issue. I would say, going back to my 10-point platform, that, quote, reform platform, even though I don't know if I can really call it a reform, because you can't reform what you never had, because we never had a union. We've had a social justice organization. 100% labor. And then she made a point about the human rights committees and possibly they could distract from the real issue of labor. Our money should be used only for labor-related issues, contracts and grievances. We have people, and I've said this so many times, and I know people on Facebook, even though I only see 12 live right now, I know later on people go back to watch what I say. If you're going to grow this membership to over 90%, you cannot be involved in politics, period. Then they say, well, how can we not be involved in politics, Richard, if part of our affiliation agreement is to support the political agenda of SEIU International? I don't know. But for $688,000 a month that we pay them, you think we would have some latitude. There's some other stuff about that money that we pay them, but I'm not going to say it right now. I'll hold off. I want people to understand this. Yes, I have stayed steadfast. Has it taken its toll on me? I'm human. I'm not a machine. And the fact that I can't help people the way I want to, oh yes, this is troubling. Because it took a third try for me to win the election. And then, you know, we got the COVID agreement. We fought off the Telework agreement until they just rolled over. And what they've done with your retaliatory suspension, because remember, I suspended the 3 VPs of their official duties. Let me say it for you again. August 3rd, 2022 at 7:01 p.m. I did not suspend their membership, the 3 VPs. I suspended their official duties. There's a difference. Look at the paperwork that I sent them. But since they've done all this garbage, they have continued the status quo of the former president. Now remember, let me stop. So that's all they've done. If you didn't know any better, you think that the former president is back in office running the union. Let me give her just due. Remember when she was asking for essential worker premium pay for everybody and she couldn't get it? And I agree with her on that. So I see someone that wants to come on Facebook Live. So you've been waiting for a few minutes. If you're sincere, put it in the text, and I'll look for your name. And then if I see you say, yes, I want to come on Facebook Live and ask you a question or whatever, or talk to you, I'll bring you on live. Okay. And this person knows me from way back when. All right. We have talked about a lot of things kind of quickly. I like that. But I started at 5:52 p.m. this evening on August 3rd. And what I really want to say is stop believing this biggest little lie that Local 1000 cares about you. If they cared about you, they would respect the voice, quote, the vote of membership, but they don't. And when they tell you, well, he only won 33% of the vote, then why are you so afraid of me then? Why are you trying to run me out of office? Why are you trying to ensure that I can't run again for president? Because you know I'll win again. And then they say, well, you know, you're a detriment, you're a black Donald Trump. I can't be a Barack Obama. No, I don't get that. Because I'm fighting the status quo. So I see, okay, so do you want me to bring you on? So put in the text if you want me to bring you on Zoom. I mean, on Facebook, if you want me to bring you on, you want to ask me something. Just type it in the text real quick. Okay, I see you. All right, so I guess the person doesn't want to come on. All right, so here's what I'll say. I have always done, oh, you do want to come on. Okay, so we're going to try to bring on this person. So I'll send him the invite, the approval. All right. Yes, you're correct. Yes, they don't want that. So I'm sending the request to this person right now. Yes, I did my Wednesday night calls even when I went to work sites because you would see me all. Sometimes I was out at the ocean or whatever, but I always did my Wednesday night call because I felt like that was really important. I'm not surprised that DLC 744 President Billy Hall said that he wouldn't be able to do it for a couple weeks. That doesn't surprise me. No, it doesn't surprise me. Because you have to be transparent, and he never ran for president, so he doesn't know. All right, so okay. I see. How you doing, Rick? I see you.
Hey.
You see me?
Hey, Richard.
Okay. Can you turn your phone up a little bit?
Okay.
All right, how's that? Everyone on Zoom, I have Rick Fry on Facebook. He has come on. He wants to say something. So go ahead, Rick.
Well, I have been following you off and on, and I'm actually pretty much vacationing out to retirement.
Okay.
So the thing is that I've always was a little frustrated with how strong you were in your convictions of what you wanted to do.
All right, so here, let me repeat what you're saying to people on Zoom because you're talking real soft.
Oh,
Rick
really?
says he's been watching for a while, and he was always concerned with my convictions and how strong I would deliver my convictions. Go ahead, Rick.
And I'm also very impressed by how strong you were in your convictions. So I'm torn between both of them. I said, can you just get along with people? And
wait, hold that thought, because I want to say that to people on Zoom because a lot of people would agree with you. So Rick says he's torn. He says sometimes he worries about my delivery and can I just get along with people, but yet he respects my courage to stay steadfast. Go ahead, Rick.
And not only do I respect it, but I've learned so much from you because of the kind of person that you are. I've learned to speak my truth because you speak your truth.
Right.
And you had these 10 points that you ran on and you didn't waver from them. And so many of us in our lives, we waver from what we say we're going to do. And okay, so I'll just give in.
So what Rick just said, wow, you know what? This is why I love when people who normally don't call come on Wednesday night and talk to me. He said something that's super important. He says, your delivery, Richard, questionable at times. And then he says, but yet you have the courage to stand by what you say, and I respect that, so I'm torn because you have not wavered on your 10-point platform. Rick Fry, you've kind of analyzed this whole situation with me since I took office on June 30th of 21 in 2 minutes. So let me say this to you, Rick. Now, to people who don't believe in God, tune me out right now. Rick, I know you're praying for me. Keep praying for me. All right. Thank you. Now, we'll go back out of the religious realm into the secular realm so that the people who don't believe in God won't be offended. All right. My delivery. You don't see me get quiet very often. I am kind of like, and I don't want people to take this in the wrong way, I'm kind of like your dog at the house. You love your dog. Your dog loves you. Sometimes you will have somebody trying to come to your house to sell you something, and they don't have your best interests, They have evil intentions. And so me as your dog, I start barking and acting crazy. And you can't understand how you love me so much because I'm always there by your side. You know I respect you and I got your back. And then this person comes and I won't get quiet. I start acting loud and out of control. And you're like, I don't know why Richard's acting like this. I'm gonna take Richard to the back of the house. And then I'll come back out and talk to the salesman. Where Richard's steady screaming at the back of the house to where you're like, he's crazy. I don't know why Richard is acting like this. Because I'm trying to protect you. And because I'm fighting the political world, and because of how my ancestors came to America, and because Black people, sometimes certain Black people from a certain part of Africa, we have a very unique speaking structure or speaking style. So sometimes if we talk a little loud or we wave our hands in the air, we talk a little fast, we may not pronunciate our words clearly, we're not mad, but that's our culture. But in America, that type of culture, unless you're rapping or on a sports field or in the pulpit or singing, that's not going to work. Because the established culture in America is you're very calm, you always smile, you never get loud. And remember, when Barack Obama made it to the White House, they were trying to test him. And this is why I made that comment, even though there's no perfect people on earth. Yes, you're correct, it's passion. Even though there's no perfect people on earth, Barack and Michelle, you can't tell me they were not on the perfect mindset and the perfect behavior for 8 straight years because they couldn't miss. But here's the thing, when a person of African American descent or African descent, when they get to that position and they do it so perfectly, they don't leave no room for error for the next Black person to be any different. Because, like I said, there are certain Black people from America, from a certain part of Africa, our culture is different. And I'm not saying all Black people from Africa, I'm saying West Africa, because that's where my ancestors are from. But I'm glad that you asked that, Rick. Rick Fry and I did not hit it off many years ago because of my delivery. And actually, he'll probably tell you, I've improved. He knows it. Yeah. But I was always sincere in my efforts. Let's suppose, Rick, the guy says, okay, I'm putting you back in there. What are you going to do? It's funny that you brought this up tonight. Would I do my Wednesday night videos and get into it with people and clash with them the way I used to? I don't know if I would do it to the same extent. You have to remember something, Rick. When the cops came to my house at 5 o'clock in the morning on May 25th, 2021, I could have been gone. And some other racial stuff has happened to me in my life. So I know how to interact with the police to survive. Now, I wasn't driving. I was actually in my house. I had just woken up. But I could have lost my life because someone made that call right after I won the election on May 24th and they made the announcement. Now, I've been at this residence, this house, since, oh gosh, November of 2012. The cops have never been to my house. But ironically, the very next day after I went, so make a long story short, when I took office, I was under attack. You're going to find out more about this, Rick, with this HR1 hearing that comes out. A lot of stuff's going to come out A lot of stuff's going to come out. I was never given the chance from the very beginning. And someone had did the timeline, Rick. Boy, 30s, from the time they announced it, it was 37, from the time I took office, it was 37 working days before they were trying to remove me, trying to take away all my powers. 37 working days. The number 37. 37. So I took office on June 30th. And Billy Hall was trying to remove all of my presidential powers on August 19th. That's not nearly enough time. You don't even give somebody 6 months to a year. And here's the thing. They don't want to recall me because they know they can't, because too many people believe in me. So they're going through other routes. The internal HR1 process, they try to remove me from the union, and then through the lawsuit to kick me off the board. This is what they're doing. I've never wavered on this. And so when people say, "Oh, Richard, please don't be so radical. Don't be so racial." It's tough when you have the cops at your house. And remember, this happened on May 25th, 2021. Remember, we're coming out a year out from the Black Lives Matter protest movement. And the cops didn't stereotype me. And so sometimes when I do come across with that passion, it gets misconstrued. Here's what I will say, because I've gotten a little long-winded. Here's what I'll say, Rick. You keep praying for me. I'll get better. Because, when God put me here, he knows my shortcomings. That's why I was so shocked when I had that dream that I was going to win the election. I'm like, after all this, this ain't the time. You keep praying for me. And if it's God's will that I'm restored back with my powers, I will bring this union together. Will it take the other side willing to work with me? Yes. The key question is, in your heart, Rick, I can talk to anybody. And I can work out a deal with anybody. But I can't give up my integrity as a black man in this country, because there's going to be other black men and other black women who are not like Michelle and Barack, or Eric Holder, or Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, or Dr. Carnell West, those brilliant black people. There's going to be other black people who are average like me who say, can I run for office? Can I make a difference? Do I have to be a Democrat? Do I have to be a Republican? Can I be a third, fourth, or fifth party? Yes, you can. And even if I lose this and God removes me out of here, I still give the glory to God through Jesus Christ, even with all my shortcomings. And so if I haven't said things the way you needed me to say them to present a better message, then I ask you to forgive me. And, a lot of people think that I hate the VPs and I hate Billy Hall and I hate all these people in the union. I don't hate anybody. I see it from their viewpoint. Because when God creates you and he creates you with your shortcomings, nobody knows more about shortcomings than me. So I see their shortcomings, but I have my own shortcomings. But my positive attributes about me not lying, me getting your money, you getting respect in the workplace, when you call me and say, show up, I'm going to show up. That's easy for me because God gave me that gift. But the other ones don't have that. And that's why they don't want to do videos with me live. Because I'm going to point out where they're lying to you at over and over and over again. It's not their fault that they can't handle money. It's not their fault. We all have our great attributes. We all have our great weaknesses. And so, one of my weaknesses, maybe I don't communicate in a way that people outside the black community can truly understand and grasp, because all the African Americans they see in positions of power and leadership, they all act a certain way. And that's why you hear certain black people in the black community say, oh, when a black person reaches a certain level of status and success in America, he or she has sold out. That's why they say that. That's why the rappers say that. I haven't sold out. And I'll end it with this. They say I'm a little too racial, okay? So I'm proud to be black. Then they say, because I went to help fight for the people in Lassen County, white people in a small rural town, they said they didn't want me doing that either. So I'm too racial on one aspect, mama's black boy. And then I go to fight for people, 99% of them are white, rural people in the country fighting for their jobs in Lassen County. I'm wrong for doing that too. And then I'm wrong for calling out the governor because he's not union friendly. And he did take 2 days of pay that he wanted for 2 straight fiscal years, and he did not have to do that. So I'm wrong on so many aspects. But the one thing that I'm not wrong on is I said, this is what I was gonna do. This is my 10-point platform. And the only thing that I failed on my 10-point platform so far is reducing the dues by 50% on day one. I failed on that. I hate it. But I know if I would have did that, they would have got me out right then.
Yeah.
You're done. So I was trying to hold on and build up that membership to over 90%. So now we can reduce the dues by 50% and still grieve every case and take it to arbitration and get you a 21% pay increase across the board and establish 2 term limits for all leadership positions within Local 1000 so no one becomes corrupt and out of control. I'm done. Thanks for your time, Rick.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the thing that I've just come across was a saying that I'm kind of leading my life by. And it's like, just do the best you can until you know better, and then do that.
So everyone on Zoom and everyone on Facebook, Rick said one last thing, do the best that I can. I agree.
And then until you know better, and then
until
you know better, and then do that. And
agreed.
it's really been working for me in so many areas of my life. It's just because I'm always learning stuff.
So he said, do the best until I know better.
And then do that.
And then do that.
You're really stuck in a hard place because of the truth that you bear and the frustration that we've been led by for so many years. The truth that you say and that we've been led by so many years. The last caller that was on that had the 20-80%.
Yes.
The 20 that just like rings the bells so loud.
Everyone on Zoom, Rick just said the last caller that was on, her name was Evie Lynch. When she said 80% social justice and 20% labor, when it should actually be the opposite and maybe 100% all labor, Rick said that was on point. Go ahead, Rick.
That's it. I appreciate the time.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in, Rick. And tell your wife I said hello. Okay. All right. So now, here, I'll take him off. I was trying to, hi, Virginia. So I was trying to follow on Facebook while talking to Rick because he said something really important about the delivery, but yet he still respects my courage to stand by my 10-point platform. And so then he said at the end, do the best that I can until I know better, and then do that. And I agree with him. And I was trying to explain to him the passion that I speak with. All right, so we're gonna go back to Zoom, unless somebody on Facebook wants to come on. We'll go back to Zoom, and then we'll go to Yolanda Williams, and then we'll go back to Evie Lynch. All right, so go ahead, Yolanda. Hey, Yolanda, hold on, Yolanda, because someone on Facebook wants to hear what you just said. Can you turn your volume up on your computer or your phone? Hold on, wait, hold that thought, and I'm gonna come right back. I want people on Facebook to hear this because I did not tell her to call in and say this. Yolanda Williams said that Gavin Newsom ain't really union friendly. And he ain't really black friendly either because he didn't sign into law the Juneteenth. That's a federal holiday. I want y'all to hear that because she's 1000% right. Go ahead, Yolanda. Mm. So, mhm. So I want to repeat what you just said for Facebook, for people on Facebook and for Zoom. She said that she just didn't complain about not getting Juneteenth, this federal holiday, recognized here in the state of California by this quote current governor Gavin Newsom. She said she emailed and she tweeted at him, but he ignored her. And she said that the only time he really wants to quote recognize Local 1000 if he's getting money from the union. Go ahead, Yolanda. Okay, Yolanda, thank you for calling in. She hit really quick. Everyone tonight's been a good night. All right, so we'll go back to Evie Lynch. Go ahead, Evie. And I see you on Facebook, Kilma. God, I can't say your last name. I see you, Kilma. I'm gonna respond to you. So go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. I want to say there was someone on the chat that said that Colorado got Juneteenth. Colorado got Juneteenth.
Okay.
And we don't, California doesn't have Juneteenth? Wow. When Colorado has it?
So,
wow.
So I want to respond to that really quickly. Oh, boy. So tonight was about the little big lie. And I didn't want to talk much about race or anything. Yet, when I don't want to talk about something, God says, no, you'll talk about it. So Evie says that Colorado got Juneteenth. I don't know if that.
I just say someone in the chat said,
okay.
I don't want to
So can someone either on Zoom or on Facebook verify, because I can't do it while I'm doing both these two things, that Colorado got Juneteenth as a federal holiday, and then tell me what political party that governor is of Colorado. I'd like to know that. And then I saw Kilma putting some stuff, but I couldn't keep up. So Kilma, whatever you wanted me to say, whatever, type it back into the text and I'll look for you right now regarding what I've been talking about. But tonight has been a very interesting night. I'm sorry, go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. Two things I just wanted to point out really quick. The first is that I noticed that a lot of they had a membership drive. I believe it was on the 28th of July. And usually when they have things, they put it out on the website and they blast it out. Oh, it was so successful. This happened. Yes, it was so successful. We had all kinds of people come. But after the 20th of July membership drive, statewide membership drive, mind you, crickets. I didn't really get a whole bunch of emails regarding that. And I think that's because it wasn't as successful as they thought that it would be. I believe, in my opinion, it's because they haven't been listening to what people have said. And people are tired of being ignored. So why go to this membership drive just to be ignored even further? So if you really want membership to increase, listen to what the members are telling you.
So
and then act upon it.
So one quick question before you hang up, Evie. You said the membership drive possibly was not as successful as they wanted for that, I think July 28th. Now, when you said that they should listen to the members, some people tell me that if they're trying to remove you from office, Richard, they're not listening to us now on who we voted for. So how can we expect them to listen to us on anything else? How would you respond to that?
I would totally agree. I think listening to the members includes saying, okay, the members voted for a president and their votes count. So let me not think for them or speak for them, and let me not override them. Let me work with the president that they voted in. Because, mind you, we had a president of the United States, whether you agreed with him or not. Donald Trump was the president. He was voted in, and we worked with him. I'm not using him because he was bad or good. I don't have that opinion right now. What I'm saying is that he was a controversial president in that quite a few people didn't agree with his policies, good or bad, that they didn't agree, and quite a few people did, good or bad, they did. He was the president, so they allowed him to be the president. And so if we have that at the national level, why is it the same people who cried, hey, respect the vote at the national level, and I'm speaking of our Democratic leaders, why are they not saying anything at our union level, at this level? Because our vote should count whenever, wherever we vote. And yet our Democratic leaders are silent about certain individuals robbing us of our democratic right to vote and choose our own union president.
So,
Not only is it our right, democratic right, it's protected by the Supreme Court under the Dills Act. And yet we have a Superior Court judge who doesn't see that and says, oh no, we're going to stop him from being able to represent the members that voted him in. Under the Dills Act, we chose him, and they should not be stopping us from having our duly elected representative represent us. Anyways, you got me off on a tangent, sir. I apologize for that. I had one other statement.
okay.
I wanted to thank you, President Brown, because one of the things that you repeatedly say, you have said, and you continue to say, is that you are ushering in a new culture, a new way of thinking. And that's hard for people to wrap their brains around, because when you are so invested for so long in a certain way of thinking, you become like that elephant that as a child was tied to a post. And once it grows into a full adult elephant, still has the same little rope tied around its leg, but because as a child it wasn't able to pull away from that rope, now as a big 2-ton elephant, it still believes that it can't get free from that rope. I agree with you. We are in partnership with the leaders, the managers of the state. We are state workers, they are state managers and leaders. We are in partnership with them. They are not our bosses. We pay each other salaries. And we should partner to make this state as great as it could be. We should not be subservient to our partners. Just as we fought as women to not be subservient to our husbands, but to be partners with our husbands and be equal partners to men, we should now usher in that new way of thinking and say, we are partners with you. We will work alongside you, not beneath you. So thank you, President Brown, for allowing us to be true leaders. And that's hard for some people on the board to see, to recognize, because they are those little baby elephants, even though they are fully grown adults.
Okay.
So, keep the fight.
Well, thank you very much, Evie. All right, I'm gonna try to play catch up. Everything she says, I agree with. And I thank you for staying positive and staying true to your convictions, Evie. I want to go to Facebook. There's a person that's...
Can I do one last thing?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
I noticed that they're copying you in all their speeches that they made on the 28th. They were basically saying what you said over and over again in all of your Zoom meetings. So you can't be too wrong if they're copying your platform and your words. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. All right, so people on Facebook are listening to Evie Lynch, and then someone just said she's spot on. Our vote was discredited and ignored. President Brown is our outright leader, best suited to make Local 1000 a genuine labor union. Now, there's somebody else on Facebook. I can't pronounce her last name correct, but Kimma, she's been doing a lot of texting on Facebook. If she would like to come on, oh, okay, wait a minute. I have someone else asking. I was going to ask her to come on. All right, so if she would like to join, because I want to address some things. Tonight was about the biggest little lie about political and social justice being what Local 1000 does and not handling labor issues. And that's correct, Becky. I haven't given up, and I'm not going to give up. I didn't want to, it's so weird. I didn't want to talk about racial stuff. And then Rick Fry threw me for a loop by coming on. And so let's talk about this for a second. Not the racial stuff about them trying to remove me from office, but I want to go to Juneteenth. So I guess it's been verified. I see it on Facebook, and I see it on Zoom that Colorado recognized Juneteenth as being a holiday for them, and they recognized it on May 2nd. And I don't know what political party that governor is. Now, why would I care about the political party? The Democrats across the nation say that they're union friendly, they're for unions, they're for the working class, the working people, the working poor, and the Republicans are only for the rich people. And Republicans sometimes carry that the stigma. He's a Democrat. Okay, thank you very much. I see you, Lo. Oh, and by the way, not to get off subject, Lo Michelle, talk from your heart. Thank you. Because that's what I always do. So I wanted to know, because the Democrats carry this reputation for being union friendly and being for social justice. But yet this particular California governor doesn't want to recognize Juneteenth and make it a, quote, state holiday. This is wrong. Now, let me say this. He will make it a state holiday. Let me say it for you on record at 7:35 on August 3rd. It will happen. If enough of you, and here's where it's not about African Americans tweeting at him. If enough people outside the black community say, Governor Newsom, you're not going to recognize Juneteenth as a state holiday? Now, some people will say, well, you already have Dr. King Day. Dr. King is shared with the whole world. Dr. King and his contribution to America ain't just an American thing. It's shared with the whole world, just like Gandhi and some other people. This Juneteenth is talking about slavery. It's kind of personal. It's very personal to me. Okay, so someone just sent me a text. Thank you, everyone. Nearly half of states now recognize Juneteenth as, you know what? Someone can look this up, because this is fascinating to me. Half these states that are recognizing Juneteenth, we have 50 states, and I know we have a lot of division between the blue and the red. I want to know if there's any red states that recognize Juneteenth. Hold on, Darren. Darren sent me the thing. Texas. Now, for history people, Juneteenth started in Texas when I can't remember the general's name, he went to Galveston, and I think it was June 19th, 1865, Juneteenth. So Texas, even though it's a red state, Texas is a very unique state. Very unique. And Texans do things the way Texans do things. So I'm not surprised that they recognize Juneteenth because it started in that state. That doesn't surprise me. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm smiling about this, remember when I was campaigning in 21 and I said jokingly, I said, if state employees don't show up on that holiday and they're African American, I wouldn't be asking them for a sick notice. I wouldn't mess with them because you may catch a little bit more than what you asked for. But I was joking, but I was kind of serious because I know that's an important holiday Hopefully they won't commercialize it. But to get back to the biggest little lie, I put the post up, the biggest little lie, that Local 1000 is more involved in political and social justice. To me, it's more than 80%, but that's a good number. But yet, they fell short on this. And why did they? Why didn't you hear those 3 VPs and DLC 744 President Billy Hall? And I don't refer to him as the chair because that's an illegal position. He can refer to himself as the chair, but I won't acknowledge that because it's illegal. Why were they, if they're so big on social justice and fight for 15 and open immigration, but on that Juneteenth, they didn't say a word because their boss didn't tell them to say anything. But yet they call themselves leaders. Sometimes to be a leader, you have to call out the hypocrisy. Personally, this is and I don't like giving out my personal feelings about politics because I'm supposed to get you this money and I haven't been able to do that. Biden was losing, God, when he was racing to get the nomination for the Democratic Party, he was having somewhat of a tough time. And Congressman Clyburn from South Carolina, when they went down there, Congressman Clyburn brought him those votes, and then it was off to the races. He won the nomination, and then he kind of really won the White House. So it was kind of a payback in a sense. Fair enough. But as a Democrat holding the White House, and you make it a federal holiday for Juneteenth, you would think that all the Democratic governors across the nation would have said, oh yes, we're going to make this a holiday because we are not about to lose any black votes or try to gain more votes with other black people who may be voting Republican or other parties. But they didn't do that. Every state was left up to its own, his or her own decision. But you think that would have been a lockstep. Kind of similar, I don't want to talk about that other issue. So anyway, you would think they would have done that. So to go back to my theme tonight, Local 1000, they tell you they're all about political and social justice, but they fell short on this one. Okay, I saw the text. And Local 1000 didn't say a word. Now, I didn't say much either because I'm already telling you, oh, I'm black, and they're trying to run me out of office because I'm an outspoken black man. And so I try to not talk about certain things. I try to walk away from it. That's why I'm laughing tonight, because every time I try to walk away from an issue or something, it comes right back in my face. Juneteenth is an important holiday for a number of African Americans. And hopefully we won't commercialize it. Local 1000 was nowhere around to be found. And so when they talk about SIU International President Mary Kay Henry, social justice warrior that she claims that she is, really, I didn't see her pushing to make sure that the state of California had that Juneteenth off. I mean, they don't want to give you the essential worker premium pay. You kept the 4th largest economy on earth going, kept it vibrant. We never lost a beat, and you were working from home. And some people told me they did more work from home than they did when they went to the office. You know, now they're trying to convince you that you have to come back to work. This is hypocrisy. This is hypocrisy. If they're really so much about social justice because they say, well, we're trying to let people out of prison early, they'll let the people out of prison early, but keep the prison going. As someone told me repeatedly, repurpose that prison. Don't close the prison down. Don't get rid of jobs. Repurpose it. And keep those state people, those state employees with jobs. And so when, oh God, when E.B. Lynn says, oh, they're copying your speech. Yeah, they're going to copy this one tonight about the Juneteenth. They fell short on this. I knew they would. You know why this governor didn't want to recognize Juneteenth? You want to know the real reason why? There was nothing in it for him. There was nothing in it for him. He saw other things that he could parade around on. Wasn't he if it doesn't benefit him, he's not going to do it. It's all about him. So when people have always said, "Oh, Richard, people say that your delivery and this and that," my delivery is about getting you paid that money and getting you respect in the workplace. It wasn't about me. I didn't ask you for $1 million. I'd asked you to donate money to me so I can have a legal fund to fight the HR1 in the lawsuit because the union refuses to indemnify its president. Now, is that racial? You won't indemnify your own president of the union who was fighting for its people, who was voted in by the people, by membership. You won't indemnify him, but that's not racial. Okay, but you tell the president to suck and eat dick, but that's not racial either. And you put a racist cartoon character up on Facebook, but that's not racial either. And you talk about controversy and controversial and that, the people are scared for their safety. When I do my Wednesday night meetings or I was doing the board meetings, people are scared for their safety. That's not racial overtones or undertones. That's not a subliminal mind message that I'm a dangerous black man. And then you say, well, he's the black Trump. That's not racial. Okay, maybe it's not. How's that? Maybe it's not. But here's the thing. As Rick Fry said, there's something about you, Richard. I see you. I'm not going to say what you said. I see you. Listen, he says, your delivery throws me for a loop. But your courage to stand by your platform, I can't shake it. Why can't you shake it? Because the spirit inside of you says that Richard's telling the truth. Can Richard tell the truth in a more gentle fashion? Put some honey on it? All right. I'm in a giving mood tonight. You say, Richard, you have to work with all these dynamic personalities in Local 1000, even though, quote, Local 1000 is, quote, living a lie, the biggest little lie. Okay. Remember when I was elected and the VPs only had 1 week of union leave? After I was elected, someone said, you said, Richard, that if you was elected, you would give the VPs full-time union leave from NTC. And I did. Special projects. Went in the policy file, I gave it to them. But they forgot. I tried to use some honey to see if I could work with them, even though I knew that they did not want me around. Y'all forgot that, didn't y'all? They got full-time union leave. And then they turned around and now trying to kick me out of the union. And then we questioned what the former president, Yvonne Walker, had did to them. And why she told staff to not work with them, that they could not work with the VPs, they could only go through her. Remember that? And she was always professional. She always used honey. Dignified, professional. She never lost her temper. Not on video. The perfect African-American in the position of power and leadership. That's what she did. 7:46 p.m. on August 3rd. I said it. But did her professionalism get you ahead? Did she enforce the contract? So when they talk about using honey with my delivery, I tried everything I possibly could to work with the three VPs. Full-time union leave. Anytime Annika and David wanted to do something, I just went along with it. But y'all don't know that, do y'all? Not yet, but you will. Trust me. It's coming. And here's the thing. When they say, you're so self-absorbed and you're so self-interested in yourself and it's all about you. Well, that's funny. As an old friend would say, that's funny. Because, let me stop. Because a lot of people didn't know who Annika Walls was. Did you know who she really was? You didn't know who she was until I showed up on the scene. Because I wasn't selfish. I shared the spotlight. They could have always Annika and David, Irene, they could have always came to my videos on Wednesday night and sat by my side and say, hey, Richard, I know you're going to do your PowerPoint, but I'm going to throw in a couple of 2 cents worth. There's always an open door to them. They know that. But they didn't want to be around me. But they told you they were working with me. They weren't working with me. No, they weren't. They didn't want me around. This truth's going to come out on them. Alrighty then. It's been a fun night. And and listen, remember they talk about you find out where people's heads are at? And I see Kimma and their best friend Tony. Remember, now, I stood by Tony, and I still stand by Tony. He says this is his story and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, Tony. Whether he made a mistake or whether he didn't make a mistake, we stand by our union brothers and sisters because none of us are perfect. But see, you find out when your back is against the wall, who's going to stand by your side. You find out. And what you're going to find out, Local 1000, there's a lot of backstabbers walking around here. These people will sell you faster than a politician will sell you. They don't care nothing about you. And that's why they won't come on video with me. They'll never come on video with me. And so when they go to these work sites, if you know they're coming to your work site, yeah, call me. Send me an email and invite me down. And bring your camera. And you'll see the truth come out. And you'll see them run. They'll literally run from me. Or they'll bring their attorney. How's that? Attorneys don't run. But I don't run either. Maybe I should have been an attorney. I don't know. So tonight's theme, Local 1000, the biggest little lie. And I put up the stuff about the money. I gave some examples. I gave the links. We had an interesting night. People talked really fast. They were quick and to the point. I want to thank everyone on Facebook. Thank Rick Fry for coming on. Hopefully next Wednesday night, more people on Facebook want to come on because he spoke such power in 2 minutes. And also remember, this court case where they're suing the union and me, they're suing you actually, because your money's paying for all this. It's August 19th, 2:30, downtown Sacramento, Sacramento Superior Court. You can call me at 408-207-2339. And then the next court date, September 2nd. It's a shame what Local 1000 is doing. I know it's politically motivated. I also know it's racially motivated. And it's hard to separate one from another. We'll try, and I'm gonna try to articulate the political stuff versus the racial stuff, and then you'll see where they come together. And sometimes I may not articulate it correctly the first 10 or 50 times. It may take me video 100 for you to clearly understand what I'm saying. But I know I'm speaking to not just Black people, not just white people, Latinos, Latinas, Asians, everybody from Europe and Africa. I'm speaking to everybody represented by Local 1000. Because if they'll do it to me, they'll do it to you if you run for president. If you go against the status quo. And the most important thing at the end of the night, we have to respect the vote of our membership. And this is why they can't raise membership, because they won't respect the vote of membership. And remember what I told you? They make you pay money to vote, and they say they criticize me for that. If you don't pay money to this union, you get no voice in this union. And that's a theme of the Democratic Party? Really? Really? They're wrong. They're wrong on this. Thank you for your time. It is now, we're going to end this at 7:52. It's August 3rd, 2022. I am Richard Lewis. That's Louis. Richard Lewis Brown. And you will get some respect out of this union. Stick with me. Stick with me. Because I need your support. Okay, have a great night. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, President Brown.
Thank you.